Do you know how to make the most modern tech house bass lines? Sub bass number 1. For a very simple, basic tech house bass line, I love to use operator to start off with some ideas. When you actually click on the first track here, which is A, you will have all the options to adjust the sound and, more importantly, the wave. This sound in its entirety is a saw D wave. Next, what I do is I go to frequency and I make sure that the frequency is set to around 1 kilohertz. And so far that sounds like this. What I've also done is added some envelope to this, which while you're in this little box, you'll see an envelope knob and you can turn that and essentially creates a pluckiness in operator. So it's set to 16 right now, but we'll start back at 0. And then you increase it. And what that's doing is it's taking the envelope that you currently have above, which is right here, as we can see, it's this little slanty line, and it's giving that to the frequency and essentially is just acting as an automated cutoff like you would in Serum, and we'll go over that in a second too. Additionally, I added a saturator to it, and this is all within stock Ableton, which is really convenient for you. So I added about almost 6 decibels of drive. I reduced the frequency, gave it a little bit of width, which you shouldn't necessarily do, but sometimes it sounds good. I'm fully dry and I have soft clip on, and you get this. Now for the purposes of tonality, I added a multi-band compression, I turned off the highs, and then you get this. Sub bass number 2. So this one is simply put an 808 thumpy sub bass. Those are mostly done by using a sine wave, which is super pure, and then you automate its little pitch bend, its coarse pitch, and that creates a little transient to it. So to begin, I have a sine wave here. I have an LFO2 that I'm using that's sloped like this. It's at 1/4 an envelope, and I drag this puppy right on the course. Now when you first do that, it's gonna look like this, which is bipolar, which we don't want. We want it singular. So to do that, it's Shift Alt or Shift Option, I think, on Mac. I'll confirm. And then that sets it to one direction, which is exactly what we want to do. And then if you turn that off and bypassed it, you would also get this. No click, no nothing, not that thumpy. The envelope is sloped down, so it kind of tapers off, and there's a little bit of release at 217 milliseconds. And this filter here is making sure that it kind of adds to the transient clickiness of it all. So we have an MG low 24, and the cutoff is doing work. Mostly the drive that's adding more oomph to it. We have a little bit of distortion, drive set to 58%, mix set to 61%. There's a little bit of compression working on it, and then once again, we have a filter so without. Kind of dulls that click just a little bit, but still makes it audible. Sub bass number 3. So this one kind of sounds like a bowl bass. So we have our Serum patch here. Our basic shapes is set to a square wave. Then our LFO1 is shaped to our MG Low 24 filter. And that's literally it. That's all I did for this. And you could use this bass line for anything that you want. Sub bass number 4. So this one's actually a modified 808 distort thump that I changed some of the settings on, mostly the wavetable, by which now it's a basic MG set to position 51. And using the same kind of slopes that I had with the 808 thumpy kick and another MG Low 24. For effects, we have distortion again, drive is at 44, mix is at 100, compressor is barely working, just a little bit to trim off the top, and then once again, we have another filter that's actually turned off. So you're all good. You're all good there. You just need distortion and compression. You're set. Sub bass number 5. What's nice about this sub bass is that it's kind of subdued, yet it still has a lot of sub and has a harmonic and gives it a very nice tonal essence. So in here we have an MB triangle, parentheses metal. It's set to a wavetable position of 163. And similarly to the 808 thumpy kick, we have LFO2 shaped like this, and it is in fact automating the coarse pitch to give it another sense of clickiness and giving it a transient whenever it gets triggered. We also have a sloping LFO that is on the MG Low 24 filter, and it's moving like this, and without it you would get, which sounds really cool if you're trying to do some Dr. Fresh insane like crazy shit, but for a tech house bass line we want that subdued, so that's why we put it on. And literally just like the other patch, we have a distortion that's set to tube, and the settings are the same, and the compression is still the same. And just like that, you guys have 5 new tech house basses to work with, to use in any way that you want, not necessarily just tech house, but for any bass line that you need. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any suggestions as to what you want to see me do next, don't forget to comment down below, and I will see you guys on the next one.